Welcome back, guys. It's Elisa Davis from Fitness and Diabetic Health, and this is Jamara, and today we're going to have a discussion on the biggest mistakes that we normally make when we're trying to lose weight. All right, so Jamara, you're looking nice today.
And I'm wearing a yellow shirt.
Yes, I can see that.
And I'm not normally one for wearing yellow because I don't think yellow fits me.
Really, it suits your complexion. It's bright. It shows how confident you are and how outspoken you are.
Ooh.
And I'm sure all those qualities will reflect in this discussion that we're going to have, right?
Of course. So let's get into the video.
I'm sure you're going to see it. All right. So our first one, the first mistake is that we're always focusing on the scale. And you know, you're so anxious to lose that weight, you will go on the scale like literally every day. And sometimes the numbers on the scale can go up and it can demotivate you. It can cause you to give up, frustrate you because you want that number to go down and instead it's going up. And sometimes this is not so effective, especially if you're doing it daily. How about doing it weekly or monthly? And what I would suggest is that try and do measurements, close measurements, and also measure your body. That's an excellent way to ensure that you're losing weight and your before and after pictures. I try not to use a scale because guess what? It demotivates me. If it's going up, it feels like I'm not trying. And what do you think, Jamar?
The reason the scale goes up most of the times, it's not because of like fat.
Yeah.
Some of the times it's muscle. Because you're working out now, you know, you're lifting weights, muscle building is taking place. You know what I mean? So the reason why I agree with you, not, you know, depending on the scale, is because muscles weigh more than fat.
Yeah,
you know,
I've heard that.
Exactly. So let's say you weighed 130 today. You know what I'm saying? And you've been doing all these muscle, you know, building, like weightlifting and all that. It's gonna change from 130 to like 135, and it's not necessarily that you gain fat. It's muscles, but muscles weigh more.
Yeah,
than
that's true. That's true. But sometimes, as a lady, and you see going up, I'm telling you, it has something on you.
Yeah,
so
it's
so what we have to ensure that we are doing is that we ensure that we're lifting weights and also take into consideration our muscles. Yeah.
And like you said about taking measurements, I think that's very important.
Yes.
When you take measurements, you can see the growth with your measurements.
Yes.
You know, because, okay, let's say someone is 169 pounds of fat and someone is 169 pounds of muscles. They're not going to look the same in size.
True.
You know what I mean?
That's
true. Exactly. The person that's, you know, that has a whole bunch of fat, they're going to look heavier than that one. Because I tell people all the time I weigh 165 pounds and they're like, you're lying. You look, you know? Saying, exactly. They're saying I look like I weigh like 150, 155.
Because you're more toned.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes, that's true. I can agree with that. If you're someone having issues with the numbers on the scale, I suggest doing your before and after pictures. That I think is so good. Have you ever looked on your picture like a year ago and then now after exercise?
You can't even recognize yourself.
It's like a different person. So that's an excellent way of doing it, and also do your measurements.
Very important.
Yes, do your measurements. That will help you. That will push you. Your pictures, your measurements, it will help you. If you're someone who does not like to see the numbers going up, even if you have muscles like what Jamar said, well, consider doing those. All right. So our second mistake is that we're eating too many calories or we're eating too few. And I'm sure you're wondering that few or many is relative, and that's true. But if you're eating too few calories, right, you do not have sufficient calories to give you that energy to work out or to do your daily activities. So you have to also consider that. And if you're eating too much calories, well, you have to think about calorie deficits. Once you're trying to lose weight, calorie deficit plays a major role. So depending on the amount of calories you're eating, if you're able to burn that off, so doing your exercises, doing your workouts, if you're able to burn it off, that's an excellent way to ensure that you're losing weight. And it's also a perfect way to know that you have that energy to do your daily activities.
So what it comes down to is two things: how active you are and your body type.
Yes.
Because if you're someone, you know, a little slim, you don't need as many calories as someone who's a bit more overweight. You understand? And besides that, it also comes down to your active level. Like if you're someone already active, you can consume more calories than the average person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah. So the end goal is to consume, right? Consume less calories than you're burning. Because when you consume less than you're putting out, that's what leads to weight loss.
Okay. Perfect. That's true. So always ensure that you have a calorie deficit. All right. The third biggest mistake is not exercising or exercising too much. So if you would like to lose weight, exercise plays a very important role. You have to be able to burn that calories that you had. Some persons don't like to exercise, but what I always encourage my friends, my families, do exercises that you love. Partake in exercises that you enjoy. How about walking, cycling, riding, something that you enjoy, swimming, and try and do a little exercise. You need that to burn that calories, to lose that weight. There's also the myth that you exercise too much. And where I think that comes in, if you're trying to tone up, if you're going to do cardio like every day, and I used to do that, you're losing that muscles that you want. So you lost some of your weight and now you want to tone up. You're comfortable with the weight that you have and you want to tone up. It's best you start doing weightlifting and less cardio. That's my take on it.
Like she said, cardio exercise, they're killers for your muscles, because cardio doesn't only burn fat, it also burns your muscles, and because it's calories, it's not
breaking down the muscles.
Exactly. So, and muscles are so hard to gain, but it's a lot easier to lose.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you don't want to be doing too much cardio. You know, probably like 3 times a week, 2 times a week, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening. You don't want to be doing too much cardio. And I really do not recommend cardio if you're at your target weight. You know what I'm saying? Like she said, weightlifting is very important. I would encourage you guys to do weightlifting.
Another biggest mistake that we normally make is not eating enough protein. You know, I always say have your protein after you work out. And why? Because protein helps to maintain and build your muscles. And you really want that. You want your muscles to get stronger and stronger every day. And of course, they're going to look toner and toner every day. And if you're having your proteins, you're having your fish, you're having your eggs, you know that it fills you up. You feel full. And it will allow you or prevent you from overeating, from snacking. So try and have your protein as best as you can. Have your eggs in the morning. Have your fish at lunch. Have your fish for dinner. But have your protein because it fills you up and it makes you stronger.
And also you want to consume fiber as well. Fiber also helps you to feel full too. And you know, fiber is like your berries, your broccoli.
Yes, I love broccoli.
Not a big fan of broccoli, but I still eat it, you know what I'm saying, because, you know, it's better to eat, you know, your broccoli than to go eat some, you know, like, you know, your pizza or something, those oily foods.
Well, you love to eat those. He loves to eat those.
Right, but it lets you feel full and longer. And when you eat the pizza, it tastes good in the moment. You know what I'm saying? It really does taste really good in the moment.
It causes you to eat more.
Exactly.
Because of the flavor,
exactly.
It causes you to eat more. So that was our 5th mistake, not having enough fiber. And I encourage you guys to have your fiber. It helps with the bowel movements. It helps with that belly bulge which I'm fighting every day. So have your fiber, have your broccoli, as he said, have it as often as you can. The sixth biggest mistake is you're having too much fat on a low carb diet. And fat, it has been demonized over the years, yes. But what we're saying is that when you're having too much, that's the key word, and you're having few little carbs. So what's going to happen is that the body is going to store that fat. And if you're trying to lose weight, that's not ideal. Because instead of breaking down that fat, instead of burning it, because it needs that energy, what it's doing is storing the fat, because you're not eating the carbs. And carbs is the biggest source of energy. So if you're having few carbs, it's going to want to store the fat to use it as energy. And if you're trying to lose weight, guys, I suggest that you have more carbs. And I also did a video on eating carbs, how important the carbs is to losing weight, to get fit, to get toned. Check out that video, please. So what do you think? What do you what's the advice that you would give to viewers who are eating too much fat?
What happens is the body kind of goes into like a panic mode. Because it needs energy. So when you consume, you know, those fatty foods, the body knows that, oh, okay, we don't have any carbs to work with.
Yes.
So we're going to store this fat as energy. And then over time, that fat builds up and builds. I mean, at first, you're not going to really recognize it. But over time, it builds up and builds up. And then that's when you start to get obese and start to get overweight. You know what I'm saying? And like she said about fat being, you know, demonized, everyone's talking bad on. You need every food group. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't suggest that you cut fat out. I would suggest, you know, maybe consuming more carbs.
Exactly, because you know, a lot of people, and I've said it before, a lot of persons do not think that they should have carbs if they're trying to lose weight. They don't have bread. They try to cut out carbs as best as they can. And you need that carbs, right, for your energy. You need that carbs if you're going to work out. Guys, you need that carbs for your everyday activities. It gives you energy. So I suggest have a balance between the food groups. Yeah, a balanced diet. A balanced diet.
People always say.
Yes, a balanced diet. Yeah. Another mistake that we make, and I'm guilty of this one, is eating too often, even when you're not hungry. And what I think is that, and I always mention this, you see the food, my kids, they're like that. You see the food, you're not hungry, but because you see the food, you just want to eat it. And you have to break that bad habit, because that's not going to encourage you to lose weight. And if you're someone like that, like myself, try and hide those things or do not buy those things. And if you're going to eat, what I try to do now is have nuts. Have my nuts readily available. Once I feel something peckish, yes, you have your sweet tooth or you want something to eat, have nuts, have fruit. So if you're someone who likes to snack a lot, I suggest that you have your fruits readily available or your nuts to prevent overeating and to prevent eating too much excessively. Try that method and it will work for you. It has worked for me. How about you? Well, Jamari is always very conscious. Yes, he has his different foods, these foods that I am not so into, but you don't see him snacking like that. Yes, he's not someone who does that.
Snacking is the real killer, believe it or not.
Yes, that's true, but if you do not have kids, you know, you have your kids and you have your snacks. Their snacks, you try to,
so you see it,
you eat their snacks.
I understand. I understand, but I don't have any kids. So I don't have those kind of situations. But yes,
what happened to those persons who don't have kids but they do snack a lot?
I would suggest try to keep those things out of sight. You want those things out of your way. What you want in front of you is fruits, you know, your nuts and stuff like that. Stuff that's not so fattening. That's what I would suggest having in front of you. But those snacks, like those chips and stuff, I just suggest that you put those out of your sight. Because like she said, if you don't see it, you won't want it.
True.
And it's there in right in front of you, you're gonna want to eat it.
Yes. So and I also suggest have your water. You know, sometimes you just have your sip of water, because you know your water, it fills that empty gap. So think about those. I know a lot of us are guilty of this one. not eating whole or single ingredient food. And nowadays it's so difficult to do that because you have so many processed foods. They are so easier. But guys, think about the impact the processed food has on your diet, the impact the processed food has on your weight. And for someone who is always eating processed food, my sausage, trust me, it's just not healthy and it's not helping you to lose that weight. And remember that the body treats processed food as toxic. They store it, and that's not something that you want to do. So if you're shopping, you're going to the supermarket, try and look for foods that are normally in the fridge. That's mostly considered your whole ingredients foods. They are not stored in the fridge. Like your vegetables, try and have more of that. You really get a little space. You do not want to have processed foods. Processed food is not healthy and it is not safe when you're going to lose weight.
So to sum it up, processed foods are like your canned foods, you know, like your sausages. You want to stay away from those, and you want to go and you want to get
your bacon too. I love bacon,
exactly.
But you have to stay away from it. Yes.
Processed foods are always the easiest too.
Yes,
you know,
they
it's quick
are.
and easy to just, you know, open the can, throw it in the pot, you know, let it warm for a little bit, and you have it. So I understand why, you know, certain people would like to have
it easier.
Exactly.
Easy to prepare.
Another thing I'd suggest is to shop for yourself, because when someone's shopping, you know what I'm saying, you want to shop for yourself. You know what you need, and stay away from those processed foods and get more involved with whole grain foods.
And you mentioned shopping, and I should also state that try not to shop when you're hungry. And that's true, because as you said, it's
snacking gets
yes,
into.
and it's so easy
Exactly.
to prepare. You're going to look for the stuff that, yes, within 5 minutes I can have this. So try not to shop when you're hungry, because you are going to choose those foods.
Exactly. You pick up those chips too.
Yes. So the final biggest mistake, and we had to leave this one for the last. So we gave you our top one, the number one, and we also give you the last one.
It's like a bonus.
Yes. Because we wanted you to watch that first one and also to stay. And if you're here until now, until the final one, I hope you subscribe, you liked, and you're about to share this video for all your friends that are trying to lose weight and you realize they're doing the same mistakes. You're trying to prevent them from doing it and to make it much easier for them, for yourself and for your friends and families. And the last one is have some unrealistic goals. Yes, we are guilty for that. And those unrealistic goals are normally the outcome. So you would like to lose 20 pounds or you would like to lose 30 pounds and that's your goal. I always say, do not have those goals. Look more on the process goals. That's more encouraging. That's more motivating. So if you're going to think of a goal, think of stating to have more water per day, to exercise more, to walk more. These are the process towards the outcome. So once you're doing the process, the outcome will come. Do not set some unachievable, unattainable goals, because it will demotivate you, it will discourage you, and sometimes it will cause you to give up. But if you realize that, yes, I mastered this. I had my 5 bottles of water. I had my 5 glasses of water. I had more vegetables on my plate. It helps you. You actually feel good. You said, yes, I mastered this goal. Let me try and add more water tomorrow. Let me try and add more vegetable tomorrow. So I always say, look at the process goals and stay away from the outcome. You have the process, the outcome will come, which is why I always say trust your process. Know your process, trust it, because you're going to see that result.
Patience.
Oh my God, that's so true.
It's a lot easier said than done. I must say that.
It is.
No, but patience. Trust me, for some it's gonna be a lot longer process for, you know, to get that goal than others. And like she said about unrealistic goals, my suggestion for that is to have mini checkpoints. I like to call them mini checkpoints. You know, like small little things that you achieve you know what I'm saying, like every day, you know, leading up to that bigger goal. So like she said, drinking water. I'm one for not drinking this much water, right? But drinking water could be a first goal, you know what I'm saying. Working out more could be another goal. You know, you want to have small little checkpoints leading up to that bigger goal. You don't want to just set a goal because it can seem discouraging, especially if you're not doing what needs to be done.
And if you're not getting there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then, you know, sooner rather than later, you're going to fall off track, you know what I'm saying? You don't even want to do that anymore, you know what I'm saying? So have many checkpoints, you know what I'm saying? Small goals leading up to that bigger goal, very important.
That's so important. That is so important. So, guys, you have to have your goals, achievable goals, your process goals, not the outcome. The outcome will come eventually. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. And yes, as he said, it takes longer for some persons, but be patient, be dedicated. And be committed. Yep. Yes, and you will see your results. So these are some of the mistakes that we saw. I experienced them. I'm not sure if Jamar, he did.
I do experience it because, you know, everybody experiences
Yes,
them.
I did. I experienced them. It was a difficult journey for me. I'm still working on them, and I wanted to share it with you because I do not want you to have these same mistakes and discouraging yourself and quitting. No, that's not in our game. That's never in our game. We want to push. It's a work in progress, and we want to push and push until we meet that outcome.
So I must say that I noticed the gains and the improvements. So seems like someone's been putting in a lot of work.
Yes, I have, and I've taken heed of all those mistakes. Yes, and I've taken your teaching, of course. Yes, it's actually working out. I'm actually seeing a little tone. Yes,
and it's a lot more firm now.
Yes.
So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We gave you guys some, you know, mistakes that everyone made. I made these mistakes.
I did too.
She made these mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, but it's how you go about, you know, approaching these mistakes. You want to learn from them. So we gave you the biggest mistakes that we see out there. We hope you enjoy it. And don't forget to like, share, and of course,
subscribe.
Because it's very important. We're trying to get those numbers up. We're trying to get to 1K. We're so close. And I would say so. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And see you soon.
And thank you for watching, of course. Thank you for my viewers. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And Jamar is now on my team.
Of course. It's
yeah, so
now.
we are going and we are teaching you and we're educating you. So have a great day, guys. Thank you.